Hi, I'm Vanessa Gilgastillo and welcome back to another episode of Real, the program that investigates Melbourne's diverse culture from the perspective of young people. Tonight we investigate the limits of dreams. Every dream begins with hope. Hope that we may be good enough to acknowledge that we fail, but with resilience we will overcome the unexpected. Throughout this episode, we will explore how dreams often challenge us to confront our greatest obstacles. We'll take you on a journey through the dreams of Melbourne's aspiring young filmmakers. Your dream begins now. Our first segment for tonight features singer-songwriter Blasco. Here he will be talking about his song Dream Chase. I hope you guys enjoy.
I wrote Dream Chase mid-November last year, and I just met this girl and we hit it off really well. Started seeing each other for a bit, and then that's usually when I start writing the most. There are certain references to her, so the majority of the story is about myself and her. So obviously there's certain things that came into play in the relationship where in the dream it's a happier place, you know what I mean? And he's pretty much trying to get her to see the dream side of kind of breaking down reality. That's what the whole core is about. It's about getting her to follow him into the dream. Like a unification where none of that middle section, it's not there. And people can come in together, but unfortunately life doesn't work that way. Simple.
In my unconscious mind, how can you give it to me? How do you dream what I dream? Got no control over time. In my unconscious mind, how can you give it to me? How can you dream what I dream? Got no control over time. In my unconscious mind.
Up next, we have a short comedy about a man's dream to dream. I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay, Daniel, what seems to be the problem?
Dr. Fraudman, you've got to help me. My whole life, it's been my dream to dream. Every night, before I close my eyes, I prepare myself for a magical picture display. Alas, I've never dreamt in my life.
Let's see. Well, I'm not totally convinced of the evidence, but some research suggests that cheese can induce some sort of dream.
Seriously, Doc, you've got to help me. I've tried cheddar, brie, camembert, blue vein, halloumi, nothing. Not even a daydream.
Alright, calm down, Daniel. I don't suppose you have any recreational drug habits. Some studies have shown that cannabis can act as a sort of dream suppressor.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What now?
Nothing's working. Eat cheese, says the doctor. Quit weed, says the doctor. I still can't dream.
Two things. Firstly, I've told you I don't think that guy's a real doctor. And are you serious? You've had a dream catcher on your wall since you were 2. Of course you've never had a dream.
Up next, we meet a character who takes a journey through his dreams to overcome his demons and to finally be free. Hey guys, welcome back to Real. Up next we have a feature short film entitled Undead. It's about a zombie boy looking for life and inspiration. Enjoy!
Hey Dave, you alright? Okay.
Hey Dave. Tough day at uni? I'll take that as yes. Don't work yourself too hard, okay?
Mum, Dave's been using my hair products again. There's rotten mold all over him. You suck, Dave.
I know you've got a lot on your plate, but you've got to start thinking about pathways for your future. You're really going to get nowhere with the attitude you have. You've got to take some responsibility. Are you listening to me, David?
You're pathetic.
You're such a loser, Dave.
You're really getting nowhere.
No relationship, no talent. What are you going to do after this?
Your friends hate you, and your family
Seriously,
probably hates you
I
too.
don't see anything happening.
No one's going to help you.
You're not going to get a job. You're going to be poor forever.
Good luck.
Morning, Dave. I'm making progress on this creative project of mine. You just got to do stuff in your own time, you know? So much more fun doing things without time restraint or pressure from school. It's taking me forever though, but it's worth it. I'll be here if you need me. Doesn't seem like I'll ever be moving from this spot.
Ryan, I don't know what to say to you. It's just, you went too quickly. I wish I had told you as many times as I could that I loved you. I wish that I told you that you
Dude, how can you be so emotionless?
Dave, hey! I think I'm done with my chalk drawings. Have a look. There's no room left on the path anymore, but I suppose I could continue up the street, but I don't know if the other neighbours would like that very much. But it's pretty, right? What do you think? I'm sure you thought something was missing. I've known it was there all along.
I found it.
And now we have a music video from local Melbourne band Mass Gravity. It explores when dreams turn to memories. Our next segment follows two teenagers breaking gender barriers to follow their dreams. Welcome back to Real. Up next, we have our feature documentary, 1 in 4. Please be advised that mental illness will be discussed throughout.
1 in 16 young Australians are currently experiencing depression. 1 in 6 young Australians are currently experiencing an anxiety disorder. 1 in 4 young Australians currently has a mental health condition of some kind.
My name is Ryan Smith. I'm an actor and a stand-up comedian and a writer, and I have a major depressive disorder. Bam.
Mum, Dad, I don't want to be a clown.
Sorry. Oh, I didn't come early. First time for everything.
Chelsea!
Chelsea, shut the fuck up! You're ruining my scene!
What are you going to be instead, son?
A mime?
Or a filmmaker.
Oh, a filmmaker!
I've done one called Chuckles, which is one of my favourites. It's about a family of clowns and the son comes out to his parents that he wants to be an accountant. And I played his father because it seems to be, as I become one of the oldest students, I'm playing people 40 years older than me.
Your grandfather was a clown.
I also did a film called Gumshoe, which was an old-fashioned film noir film in which I played an Irish priest, and I sound like Maggie Smith. It's a terrible accent.
He had red hair. I'm sorry, I noticed you're not writing any of this down.
And then I wrote my first short film not that long ago called Steps. Not long after that, a friend of mine was making a documentary about stand-up comedy and he asked me to be in it. Next thing I knew, I'd walked in and he'd booked a gig and I had about 3 hours to put together my first gig, which scared the crap out of me. Did the one gig and I thought, that was good, I've done that now. And then around about January, I went back and started doing some open mics. And I've been doing that ever since as well.
I'm done.
Okay, well can I do this or is it gonna fuck with your continuity? I got diagnosed with depression shortly after a breakup with my first ever girlfriend. It goes undiagnosed for such a long time. The main thing I like to think of it is high metabolism. That's all it is. My body absorbs serotonin, or the happy chemical, quicker. So it's sort of like, you know, those annoying people with high metabolism who they say, you know, they can eat whatever they want and they'll never get fat. Well, I can eat whatever I want and I'll never get happy. Hooray for me. But that's all it is. And as soon as you look at it like that, it's not so terrifying because you're not broken or your soul isn't broken. At the same time, the biggest thing about it is you have to take a responsibility for your illness. If you have asthma, it's your responsibility to carry around an asthma pump. If you have depression, it's your responsibility to take control of it and find yourself an answer. And I'm not saying that's easy either. There are two kinds of prejudices, I would say, towards mental illness. The first kind of prejudice is people who still think it doesn't exist. The other thing is, of course, now that we're sort of more aware about mental illness, people will be reluctant to hire them, even though legally, of course, you're not allowed to be reluctant to hire them, but you also don't have to disclose why you don't hire a person.
There's absolutely a prejudice against people with mental illness. One that's so ingrained that it's hard to get it out of my own head.
I was made aware of the fact that doing this documentary and speaking openly about mental health might result in prejudice.
If employers found out about my anxiety, it could possibly affect my employability.
But with the right resources and with the right support network behind you, you can accomplish anything with mental illness.
I do photography. I'm the resident photographer at a comedy room in Northgate.
I got the top score in the state for singing, and I was offered a position at the Conservatorium of Music.
I guess I'm pretty heavily involved in politics. This year I had an internship. I was selected for an internship known as Union Summer and was sent to the National Union of Workers.
This year I got offered it's a position with the Golden Key Society, which is an invitation-only position that only accepts the top 15% of each bachelor's degree.
1 in 4 people suffers from something like this. You don't need to tread lightly around us. We're just normal people.
I can't deny that mental illness is a wall. Cannot. And my argument would be that people with mental illnesses, the more we talk about them, the more we get to understand them and the more supported we feel because it becomes more normal. And I think a great way to make something normal is to do comedy about it.
So please, donate today to Bipolar Bear so that we can make it to a Melbourne stage for the Melbourne Fringe Festival in Melbourne. And together, maybe we can make grizzly bears a little less grisly.
This is a play created for the 1 in 4 to say mental illness is something that can be overcome. Because if people laugh about them, they're not scary. They're not scary, they lose their power. I've always think that in my own way I can change the world. And the way I can do that is if I can teach somebody something or make them happy, then they'll spread that onto someone else and it's like a ripple effect. And before you know it, the stone's gone into the water and the ripple is spread around the whole world. And these kind of delusions of grandeur I have or whatever, they're what make me happy, is knowing that I can change things. That and breasts.
If that documentary brought up any negative feelings for you, please contact Lifeline 13 11 14. Next up, we're going to be learning about the flea in the glass jar experiment. I hope you guys enjoy.
In an experiment, a scientist placed a flea into a glass jar. The flea, being able to jump more than 100 times its body height, quickly and easily jumped out. The scientist then put the flea back inside of the jar with the lid sealed. When the flea next jumped, it crashed into the glass lid and fell back down into the jar. After some time, the flea, now conditioned to the presence of the glass lid, began jumping slightly below the lid so as not to hit it. When the scientist removed the lid from the jar, the flea continued to jump at the same height just below the lid. The flea has learnt to limit itself from jumping beyond the height of the lid, even when the lid was removed. For the rest of its life, the flea would be unable to escape. Has your past created barriers that are holding you back from reaching your dreams? Don't accept the limitations of your environment. Don't be a flea in a glass jar.
I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode. You guys have to join us next week for the last episode of Real, where we explore the limitations of fear. I've been your host, Vanessa Gale Castillo, and good night!